Okay, YouTube. I'm going to try to cut me a little bit of news for this Friday. Today is Monday, so I am cutting it 4 or 5 days early, but there's a lot of it. Villager's troubled son leaps to his death from cell phone tower. Villager wants buffer to shield his home from noise from turnpike. You have to watch where you're buying down there. I don't think this guy's going to has a chance in hell in getting people to spend thousands of dollars to put in a buffer zone to protect his house from turnpike noise. That's where you got to do your due diligence. You have to know where you're buying. You have to pay attention to things. I've reported on my channel many times, not that I'm disparaging the area, but there's a lot of areas down there that are fairly close to the turnpike. Sue even suggested, which I think was a good suggestion, to go down there if you're interested in a home, anywhere down in the area where you're fairly close to that turnpike. Go down there around, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when the traffic will be the heaviest, people going home from work. Maybe early in the morning if you go down there, people going to work. And see if the noise bothers you. Sit out on the lanai, because the lanais aren't enclosed, unless you can buy them and then you can enclose them. But I'm going to step out on a limb and say that probably all the lanais are going to be open. In other words, they're screened in for bugs and everything, but they're basically, noise-wise, they're open. So go down there and check it out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the traffic is at its highest to see if that noise is going to bother you. If it is, move on. There's homes being built all the time. There's homes all over. They're going to continue building past all that. You know, I've done a video about a year or two ago. I know, I've got over 800 videos. There's nobody in the villages anywhere here that's done more videos and put out more information than me. I'm not bragging, it's just a fact. I think last time I checked, we had something in a neighborhood of 880 videos. So a lot of my videos, I do feel like I repeat myself because the information I put out maybe 2 years ago or so, people aren't going to look at that. And let me just say, some of the statements I may have made 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and beyond may not be true today. Because, like I've said before, things here change. And they change all the time. The rules from one district to another can be changed. They can be upgraded. So 2 years ago, I may have said in my district, you can or cannot do something here. Today, that may not be true. Because they change things all the time. And I don't keep up with all that. And if I did that, these videos would go on forever about changes in different districts and different rules. And it would bore you to death. So I just don't do it. But I have said, when you go to buy a home, pre-owned or new, makes no difference. Find out what district you're in. Before you buy that home, even if you put a deposit on it to hold it for you for a few days, get a copy of the district rules. Your realtor, whoever it may be, should either provide you with a copy of those district rules or at least be able to guide you to the website so you can read those district rules. I highly recommend that, because there might be some rules in there, or if you're interested in one particular thing, just call down to the district office and say, in district so-and-so, whatever number it is, district 4, 10, whatever, can I do this or can I do that? Whatever your questions are. And in most cases, they'll just tell you on the phone. No, you have to get ARC's permission for that. Or yes, you can do that. Or I called about parking my camper in my driveway to load it and unload it because I thought I knew, but just to be sure, because I didn't want neighbors calling in on me and having a problem here, I said, I called them and I asked them, I said, hey, can I park my camper in my driveway to load it and unload it getting prepared for a trip. And she just simply said, yes, in District 10, you can do that. You can park it on property. That seemed to be the key word to me when she said that. You can park it on property for 72 hours to load and 72 hours to unload. On property to me means it's got to be parked in your driveway. You can't park it on the street, open up a slide, and run an extension cord out to it. People can call in on that, and they're going to come out and knock on your door and tell you it's got to be moved. So just keep that in mind. But whatever district you're going into, if you have an RV and you want to know that question, for example, just call and ask them. The people that work down there, they have no reason to lie to you. It's generally a bunch of people that live here and they just took a part-time job. And those are the people answering the phone in most cases. So, you know, don't hesitate to call and ask before you plop down money on a piece of property and then find out later, oh my God, I can't do something. Well, check it out. This guy, I don't know how you would not know that your house was next to a turnpike. I'm sorry. How do you not know that? And then buy the house and then complain about the noise later? I gotta say, I don't think he's got a chance in hell of getting anything done here. They're just simply going to tell him, you should have checked it out. The Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors wants to see mold cleaned off the driveway at the home of a deceased villager. This is in the historical district up there. The home's owner, Gloria Cassar, C-A-S-S-A-R, is deceased. The property is in foreclosure. The utilities are overdue, and the property taxes have not been paid for 2019. Sounds like a perfect home for the village's land development company to purchase and drag it out of there and build another new home up there. Property management company Strategic Alliance Management has been mowing and weeding, but has not cleaned the mold off the driveway of the manufactured home, which dates back to 1988. The representative of the property management company pledged to take care of the mold problem with the driveway. Rather than impose a fine, the board has opted to provide some time to have the mold removed. Those of you that don't know what that looks like, can you see it? I hope this camera, well, doggone it, yeah, there you go. Can you see the driveway? It looks, you know, bad. That's mold. You get that from, everybody gets it. That'll get on the side of your house if you don't have it washed and cleaned. Stucco homes don't seem to be as bad, but it will get there. I have my house pressure washed. Well, I shouldn't say pressure washed. It's called non-pressure wash. I don't like them gasoline, high pressure jobber things that anybody can go to Home Depot and buy, and they come to your house for 50 bucks and they high pressure the side of your house. First of all, those things don't do a real good job anyway. Second thing is it uses nothing but your water. They hook your garden hose to the darn thing. And I had that done a couple of times on my very first home, a rental home I had here. And I went over and checked it after you pay the guy and he's all done. I went over like the next day and checked it and things dried out. And you can look down the side of the house and you can just see areas, exact areas that he missed. But there you go, you know. Now I use what's called non-pressure wash. I've used them now for probably about 7 or 8 years. I have never had a problem. I'm not saying they're the cheapest around, but how it works is you make the appointment. I have it done twice a year, every 6 months. And that's what I recommend. You can do whatever you want. But they come out with a trailer, usually. Got a big water tank on the back. And in his pickup truck, he has these gallon jugs of something, whatever they are. He'll dump one of them gallon things in the water that's in the water tank. And then he'll start up his gasoline motor. And he has a hose that's, I don't even know how long this little hose is. It's long. He unreels it. He'll go around your house just like at a car wash. He sprays everything around on the outside of your house. And that includes your lanai if you want it done. Yeah, the back of the house where your lanai is, the back, they go inside there and they'll do the house there if you want them to. I haven't had that done the last couple of times because Sue's out there. She has her paintings out there, and we have pictures hanging on the wall, and you have to remove all that. And so I just haven't really had it done. And of course, our lanai's enclosed, so it doesn't get very dirty in there at all. And the little bit that does get on the wall, with a little Windex and a rag, and I just wipe it off and we're good. So anyway, they spray this cleaner all over your house. I have gutters installed also, all the way around. So they spray the gutters, the siding, they spray the eaves, they spray everything. And I've been out there, I did a video a long time about it, and literally, even though your house looks fairly clean, you can just see this black stuff just running down your house. Also, in the very hot weather like we have now, this is something I didn't even think about. All the bugs and things, it seem like to get under the eave of the front door, that walk-in area. It's kind of shaded. Probably because it's shady under there and a little cooler under there. Well, it gets so hot, bugs will actually stick to the side of your house. I mean, they just like burn themselves into the side of the house. They're stuck. This chemical takes all that off. I mean, takes it all off. It doesn't hurt the grass, doesn't hurt your plants, doesn't hurt your pets. I don't know what kind. It's got an orange smell about it, citrusy smell. It's very good. And like I said, I've used them for many years. I've never had a problem. The people are more than professional when they come out. They're very, very nice. They dress accordingly. I mean, they are working, so they wear work clothes. But let's just say they don't come to your house dressed weird like some people do. They're here, they spray it off, and they wash it, and they leave. It doesn't take them very long. Now, the prices went up over the years. 8 or 9 years ago, it was $49. And now it's $62. That includes tax and everything. I still think it's well worth it. You know, what would that be? $124 a year. And my house looks brand new when they go away. I mean, literally, it looks brand new. The chemical doesn't take the shine off of my gutters. It doesn't take the shine off the side of the house. It doesn't hurt my design on my driveway in any way. It doesn't fade nothing out. And I will continue to use them. So that's the one thing that I would recommend if you buy a house down here. And I really don't care if it's stucco or vinyl. Vinyl more, I think, because it's more noticeable, especially the lighter color vinyl. Mine's yellow, so it shows the dirt really bad when it gets dirty. The darker vinyl, probably not, but that doesn't mean the dirt isn't there. It's there. So stucco or whatever, a couple times a year, spend 128 bucks, man, get your house cleaned. You won't regret it. You really won't. Here's another news that I really don't understand why it's news. You know, maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. If I'm missing something, you people leave comments below. Let me know what I'm missing. T&D companies. T&D, they had a long time relationship with Morse family, doing work around here. They got several companies, one of which is T&D Pools. They install swimming pools. They do the chemical treatment for you on a regular basis. I think T&D takes care of all the village's amenity pools, which would be the sports pools, the neighborhood pools, the family pools. I'm pretty sure the village has hired T&D to do all of that. So they come in on a regular basis and they check it for chemicals and everything. And they usually do it early morning. When I was a gate guard, they would come in, geez, I don't know, early in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they'd come in the gate out here. And so they pretty much do that stuff all night long, I think, when everybody's in bed asleep. So as not to be bothering anybody during the day, which is great. So T&D's been around for a long time. They do other things. I'm not 100% sure what all they do. It's a family-owned business. It says T&D companies took government money in COVID-19 response. Like I say, am I missing something? The government said that any business that lost a lot of, anyway, there's rules and regulations about it. You could apply for the stimulus money. I mean, if you owned a business, I guess, why would you not apply for it? If they're saying you can apply for this, why would you not? I guess, I don't understand. Or are they comparing this to Back when the automotive companies were having a hard time, and everybody seems to remember that Ford, and I think it was Ford and Toyota, if I remember right, did not take any government money. All the rest of them did. General Motors did, Chrysler did, they all did. But General Motors and I believe Ford did not. And people to this day, every now and then when you're having a beer with a group of guys and they start talking politics, which I hate, but they'll bring that up. Ford didn't take any. Toyota didn't take any. And they seem to show respect for that. And that's all well and good. I do too. I don't like companies that take things just because they can. If you don't need it, then just leave it alone. If they got it coming, I don't understand what the argument is. So like I say, if I'm missing something, leave a comment below. Let me know what I'm missing here. Mayor suggests sealing off La Zamora Gate to cure Chula Vista headaches. Those of you that don't know about the village of La Zamora, it's one of them older villages you just don't hear about. But I've been through there years ago when we were looking for possibly buying our first home, which I ended up buying a patio villa in the village of Caroline. And we loved Caroline. The problem with Caroline, in my opinion, is it's not close to hardly any executive golf courses at all. And the only championship golf course that it's reasonably close to is Mallory Country Club, which I love, by the way. I liked the country club, liked everything about it. Not so much anymore. Mainly because of the management there and and I don't know if it's new management, but if you sit outside, they want to serve you beer in a plastic cup. Any beer drinker, any beer drinker does not want his beer in a plastic cup. This is not a Dodgers and Yankees baseball game. You know, this is a country club, for God's sake. And if you sit inside, they'll give it to you in a real glass, but you can't take it outside. So for that reason, I just don't go there at all anymore. I haven't been there in probably a couple, 3 years. But that's the only reason why, is because of that. Is that nitpicky? Probably. But look, Evans Prairie's in my back door. I can still sit outside. I can still get my beer in a glass, a real glass, so I don't have no need to travel all the way up to Mallory to get the same beer for the same price in a plastic cup. Just don't need it. But La Zamora is a beautiful area. It just is. If I can remember, La Zamora is a little bit more rolling country in there. The streets are a little more, I don't know how to put it, wavy. More of an incline here and there. So it's a beautiful area, and we seriously thought about buying there back in the day when they kept talking about the build out. You know, I went through the same thing that a lot of people are going through today. Used to, the villages at a request would send you a cardboard briefcase, and that's just what it looked like, a cardboard briefcase in the mail. In that cardboard briefcase, this is probably a collector's item now, there was tons of information about the village. Part of that was a VHS tape that basically give you a bird's eye view of the villages, keeping in mind. When I got mine, Spanish Springs was the only square, and there was never any talk about building any other square anywhere. And the so-called build-out was going to be up around Nancy Lopez. And I knew we was probably wanting to get a patio villa because we was going to rent it out and use it for a summer home. I was turned down to buy one because at that time I was 45. And they told me then that I wasn't old enough to buy. I never thought anything about it. I said, oh, okay, because it is a 55 plus community. I said, okay. I don't know what happened to that rule, because now it just seems like it's out the window. And I wish I'd have documented all of that about being told I wasn't old enough and all this kind of stuff, because I would question a lot of this stuff today. But anyway, they were having a build out. There would be no more. A friend of mine worked for a Village Realty Company. And at that time, I told him, I said, I'm thinking about buying a patio villa. This is before I was turned down. And I said, I don't want to spend a ton of money because I'm still working and I had house payments where I was at, but I would like to get one, I think, before there is no more new ones to be bought. So we settled on what I was going to get was called, I believe, a Savannah Series patio villa, whatever that was. I believe that's what it was called, a Savannah Series. At the time, I think brand new, the 2-bedroom, 2-bath were $65,000. And I was going to buy one. And then they said I couldn't. And then, of course, the announcement of Lake Sumter in that whole area. And people that's been here for a while, it's a standing joke about the bailed out. You still hear them talk about it once in a while, and they bring it up, and it just brings a good chuckle, a good laugh. You know, was it a sales technique? I don't know. I mean, who knows? But if it was, it worked. Some of my lost history. Really wish I had that cardboard briefcase. I'd show it to you, and I'd go through it, and I'd show you all the stuff that was in there. It was really a pretty good deal. And you got things called Village Bucks, Village Dollars when you came down for a lifestyle visit. And the Village's lifestyle visit, I believe at that time for like 4 days and 3 nights or something like that, was like $90 for the whole stay. And you got $90 in Village dollars, and all them dollars could be used at any Village's restaurant or store. So basically your stay would be free. And that's the way it was. The North Sumter County Utility Dependent District approved a budget Tuesday that will solidify an earlier decision to end recycling in the villages and send trash to a waste-to-energy facility in Lake County. They've done that in Indianapolis for decades. Burn your trash, which boils water. The steam from the water spins a turbine, which creates electricity. And actually, if that's the alternative, the only alternative they have to digging a big hole in the ground and burying all of your trash, and everybody knows that in that trash are things that should not be buried in the ground, but people do it anyway. Guarantee you there's old oil bottles in there with oil in them. There's old batteries in there that you shouldn't be burying batteries in the ground, things like that. So I'm all for burning it and having nothing but a little ash left over. If they don't have anything better, I'm for that. AAC to consider spending $130,000 for shade structure at dog park. It's not that I have anything against that for several reasons. You know, the pets have no say-so about anything, and they do get hot. Dogs don't sweat, and they're covered with fur, so they will overheat faster than a lot of other dogs. I do like dogs. And the one thing that I don't like is on a 100-degree day, that asphalt out there gets hot. I've actually went out there with a temperature tester one time and tested the asphalt out here. And it seems to me, it's been years ago, it was something like 150 degrees, 160 degrees, something like that, the surface of the asphalt road. And yet you see people walking around with dogs. They'll stop in the middle of the road to talk to somebody, and that poor dog's on a leash, and he's standing on this hot road with his bare foot pads. He has nothing on it to protect him. And I look at that just wondering, what is the owner thinking here? If they took their shoes off and had to stand on that, I bet she wouldn't be standing there very long. But so I don't have anything against the shaded area for a dog park. But why on earth would you put in a shaded a thing for a dog park and not consider putting shaded things over a few neighborhood pools? Old people are sitting out there getting skin cancer and everything else possibly, and they've asked for these shaded pieces to go, I don't know what you call them, the shade that goes over top of the swimming pools to kind of, help shade it out of the sun. They've asked for that. And they've reportedly been turned down, I suppose, many times. And yet, we'll shade a park for dogs. Not that I'm against dogs, but I think people come first. So if you can't shade a swimming pool for your residents that pays the bills here, then I'm saying the heck with the dog park. Remember reporting the lady that had her grass taken out and then she had artificial turf put in? And I publicly said, I like the look. I understand the idea of artificial stuff because you don't have to water it. That saves you a lot of money. You don't have to mow it. That also saves you money. You don't have to fertilize it. That saves you money. Anyway, hopefully this thing works. The camera said it was repairing my file and I didn't catch it in time, so I don't know how much footage I lost. This can be so frustrating sometimes. But anyway, she's going in front of the District Board 6 of Supervisors trying to have her artificial turf grass changed to a putting green. And like I was saying, have to get permission for that also. They want to make sure that you're set back far enough off the property lines. How big is it going to be? Where is it going to be located on your property? These kinds of things. And she didn't get permission for that either. So my guess is this technique of trying to keep that artificial grass there isn't going to work. And I realize it's a lot of money. $4,000 to get it installed. Now she got to get it taken out. That's going to cost. Then she has to get real turf put back in. That's going to cost. Now she has to start watering. Now she has to start mowing. That's going to cost. So make sure you get permission to do anything major in your yard. Just do it. It's free, it's simple, and then it'll avoid all this trouble. It says that the CDD6 board voted 5-0. This is after she trying to make a claim or case on letting her turning it into a putting green. Ordering her to remove the artificial turf and replace it with sod within 45 days. If she fails to do so, she will be fined $150, followed by $50 daily fines until the property is brought back into compliance. The deadline is nearing. Swartz said she has received encouragement from the many villagers driving by to check out the artificial turf grass. Well, sure. What do they care? They ain't got no money in this game. It's you. Don't listen to your neighbors. They don't care. They really don't. It's not them. It's you. They're not going to lose a dime. Parade of cars and golf carts, bicycles, and hikers going by my home daily shows the interest from the community. One gentleman left a note suggesting to convert it into a putting green. I immediately applied to the District 6 about my desire to have a putting green with a plot plan attached. District 6 has answered and requested more info with specs to be more specific. I am in the process of getting a detailed plot plan from the county now. Swartz added that she is hoping each CD6 supervisor will drive by and look at the artificial turf. Hopefully only one flag will be necessary and I can keep the turf grass and this episode will be behind us. Well, I hope you get to keep it too. I don't think it's going to happen because you thumbed your nose at their authority. And one thing I know about people that's usually in powers that be, they don't like it when you thumb your nose at their authority, especially when they have the authority. And in this case, you didn't go and get permission. That's what this case is going to be about. It really isn't about the artificial turf so much. It's going to be the fact that you decided you didn't need their permission to do whatever it is you wanted to do on your property. And that it just doesn't work that way here. So I'm going to say to anybody watching this, anybody, I don't care who you are, if you have a problem with following rules in a neighborhood, we don't have an HOA, so forget that. We do, but we don't. The HOAs here are voluntary if you want to join. You don't have to join. I didn't join. If you can't follow the district rules in that district, then look at another district that has rules that you can follow. If following rules is something you just don't want to do, because if you're one of them people that has this feeling of my property, I do what I want because it's my property and nobody's going to tell me what to do and how to do and when to do and blah, 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 this is not for you. I've said it before, the villages is not for everybody. So, quit wasting your time. Seriously, just quit wasting your time. Start looking for, if you want to move to Florida in the winter, start looking elsewhere, because here there's district rules. And here it's complaint based. And all it takes is one complaint about something that somebody knows is against the rules. And there you go. You're going to be behind the 8 ball. So with that being said, let me get out of here and say, see you guys on the other side.